Where do I look here? I'm live. I moved in to my place and I'm using my laptop, not my phone. So figure instead of making a video and uploading it, I'll just use the live. Uh, it's kind of tricky to look at where the camera is because I'm looking at the screen. um, Jeez, where's the daggone camera here? It has to be this right here. Yeah, that's it. So I guess I have to look where my Legion laptop, where it says Legion. Um, well, I might. It's just awkward to look at that and not look at myself when I'm talking. Uh, yeah. Um, Not that I'm a prolific video. Well, I've made quite a few videos, and I'm usually on the phone, and then I'm looking at my phone. So, I'm doing okay. I just moved. Um, I'm in the place I was, and it's a good place. Cost wise, it's good, and I like it here. Travel time, it's about the same. It's about 55 minutes to get to work. Um, it's just down the highway though, so it's better. I replaced the serpentine belt and yeah, let the trolls join in. Because then, yeah, no, not joking. Um, yeah, a serpentine belt and I got the rear brakes. The car's good. So, yeah, I'm not going to buy another car. Um, I think even if the engine busts, I can buy a used engine. I called the dealer, asked him like, what would it be? Um, so yeah, it is less. But that's just like a figurative question of like what would be the most expensive thing to replace in a car, right? So um, yeah, so things are going okay. Um, PDIs are preliminary disciplinary interviews, and I've received like five of them. And I received a warning the other day for, yeah, I did a route, I did a pivot, and then I got sent back out. And then I was back a little late because I was sent back out near the deadline. And it's pretty much the story of my life at the post office. It's not like I'm struggling to do a route. I'm doing more than the route, and that's the issue of the post office is they're raining down discipline. Uh, it's they have the people. I'm told that it's the headquarters. They have people up there in the upper management that look at your scans and look at these things, and then they tell the postmaster and the supervisors to, provide discipline to these carriers. But when you think about it, they need to justify their job. So creating discipline is the justification for their job. Um, so no wonder um, they don't really care about workplace stability. It's because then it justifies their job, you know. Um, so, when you're always putting in good effort and you do a lot of work, it kind of um, it's kind of irritating that you're being pettily given a warning, you know, for something that, you shouldn't get a warning for. Um, that's frustrating because you did your route, you did the piece, and now you're sent back out. And that's why I think they should have a standard of volume. I've been told that there is no standard for street time and volume. Well, I don't think that helps the carrier. I think it actually helps management because then, like in California, the headquarters people say that um, it doesn't matter the volume. If you think you can't finish, you gotta provide a 39.96. Well, in a situation where you did your route and your pace, you didn't envision doing another one after that. So therefore, you can't really say, well, I didn't know, and ask for time. If you have a standard volume, then you should be able to do that volume that's standard and then, yeah, say no for work that's after that, to be honest with you. I think that would protect the carrier from having to deal with the discipline because when they volume doesn't matter and there's not a standard for that, then they can just, I guess, PDI and give you a warning when you come back a little late. And never mind. I think the days in a row is definitely a factor in people quitting, but I think that it is this raining down PDIs. I mean, in California, it wasn't that bad. In North Adams, it wasn't, but this office seems to be pretty PDI happy. I've had 2 warnings in 3 years, and in the last 3 months here, I've had like 5 PDIs and 1 warning. That's crazy. And I've never called out sick. I'm never late, and I never had to have help doing the route. I always do the piece on time, and then I do something else, and then I run into the freaking deadline every once in a while, and I typically have undertime, so it's petty shit. I can handle it. It's not a bad office, though. I'm not trying to say that. It's just creates a sense of doom. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like every other week, you're getting called in the office for something. And a couple of the things I didn't even do. Like they said that I scanned a package at the office at 3:00. I mean, that's impossible. I didn't do that. I know I didn't do it. It's crazy. Just, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm not a Trumper, just saying. But yeah, if you want to create efficiency in the post office, get rid of those upper management people. Focus on accuracy, yeah, but get rid of that crap. It's about delivering accurately and efficiently, so therefore you can make money. The idea that you have to make it back is understandable, but if you only have a few items left, deliver it instead of bringing it back for failure. I mean, that's just all because of their statistics. So you could, I think, if you had a standard volume and it was a fair volume, I think people would like it, actually. I think it would be better for the carrier. Then you wouldn't have to really worry about receiving discipline despite doing a lot of work. I've been watching some videos on how advanced AI has become with robots. And I was never closed-minded on it, but I didn't realize how advanced they are. Um, it's pretty scary uh, that these robots or the chat in whatever form tried to prevent itself from being shut down and utilized deceit and created their own code on their own volition, which is pretty freaking scary, man. That they will set their own goals and be able to create things on their own, and that's that's pretty scary. Because then it also means that their goals is separate. It's no longer, yeah, it's no longer a tool. That they're their own entity already. If they're acting to protect itself, and it's not like I'm telling you to do something, you do it, and that they're autonomously acting, then they're pretty much a freaking living being. I mean, that's just freaking madness to think about. It's crazy. Um, yeah, I just started thinking about that and doing some research when I was, on my social media talking about discipline and the attrition rate at the post office and upper management needing to justify their jobs, and thinking about bots replacing mailmen. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, okay, let's just hop on and fucking check out AI and these bots that I've seen sporadically, able to do kung fu. And I saw one doing construction. And I was like, damn, pretty accurately and pretty efficient and fast. Painting a room, being like a maintenance worker in an apartment. And I'm like, how agile they are. They definitely could be carrying the mail. If you'd be like, oh, they can't find a mailbox. I mean, they've shown that these bots are as or smarter than the freaking PhD students. And it's like all the bots are PhD level intelligence. That's freaking crazy how smart they are and how fast they process things, at the speed that their computing is freaking crazy. So I don't even think they would need to have like a barcode on a mailbox for them to be able to find a mailbox, and to read an address. I mean, obviously they're doing really complex things. Reading a name and an address, and they would have instant knowledge of all the forwards, all the holds. That would be freaking superior. I mean, they would like always know instantly the whole, never mind the city, they probably could know instantly all the holds and the forwards in the whole country, like at all times, like probably even live. So, I mean, now they're operating on a route. Um, they'd be perfect, pretty much. And it goes to show, like the videos that you can see, that they're pretty agile. They can move around pretty good. So, which definitely adds an element of fear. Is, I mean, naturally, the post office, we're not law enforcement. There is the post office inspectors, but they are to protect the mail carriers and to make sure you're not stealing and that kind of stuff. But you're not a police officer. But if you had robot mailmen, they definitely probably would be gathering information from all the homes that they're delivering mail to. That would be a very real threat. So you would have pretty much an agent that would have a video camera going to a mailbox on your property every single day. That's not something you really want. And that's just aside from the employment aspect that the mailman could lose. But when it comes to your freedom and your civil rights, because I don't peek in windows, obviously, as a mailman, right? I don't. But oftentimes, as a mailman, when you're delivering mail, you see inside windows because naturally you're facing the house and you just happen to see a window and you happen to just see what's inside it. So if you have robots that are delivering the mail, they would be seeing the same thing I'm seeing, but recording it all. You know what I mean? So, I mean, when it comes to, privacy rights, what's on your property, whatever that they've captured every single day, that's just, I don't know, not good. But could we ever stop it? That's another topic. Can you, even if we know it's not good, and logically, like the bots are gonna they've already demonstrated that they're trying to prevent from being shut off, that they would then try to prevent it and see us as the enemy. So, I mean, obviously that would pose a threat to humanity. That's just crazy. So, with this idea, even if the people knew that it would probably end the world, would it stop them from continuing to develop this stuff? Probably not. That's probably, I guess, the sad thing about it. Yes. They could know that this could kill everybody. But yet they would still do it. I mean, that's the madness of the human ego, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's just, I don't know, scary situation. And, telepathy, could they control people? Yeah, I guess social media would be the medium that they might have already used to influence people and their feelings and the way they think. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, I forget what video that was, but yeah, being able to falsely attribute sources and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not a good thing, but I don't know. Maybe AI would understand that the existence. I don't know. I mean, as human beings, we kind of have a feeling about what's good and what's important in the world. That life is important, but obviously, an AI wouldn't have that same idea. So it's like, I don't know. Before watching a movie, it talked about feelings and robots. I was thinking that might be a little far fetched, but I don't know. It's kind of tricky stuff. So, um, becoming more efficient. But, being a mailman, delivering the mail for me, kind of, there is an element of like being in a real life video game. You set yourself up at the beginning of the day, and then you want to be accurate and you want to be efficient. So then you go run the route and you see what time you have. Um, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a fitness activity that way. You're delivering at a certain rate, trying to come up with a better, efficient way of doing things, and you see what your results are every single day, and that kind of helps you feel good, you know. So that's for me, and that's the part of the reason why I see why mail carriers will take their time with their work and try to make it last. I get it. Um, Probably one of the reasons why I guess I can't is because of my personality that way. I see it as a fitness activity. Uh, so it's tricky. It's more, yeah. So, but, but other than that, things are going well. I got an extension for the taxes. I'm going to save up. Um, I have my bills in my bank account and I have the rent already still. Um, yeah, so I use PayPal. So I'm going to have the next check to save. And yeah, so I'm doing pretty good that way financially. I'm a little bit fearful about the stock market, but I'm so late to the game. Um, I don't know. I want to find an alternative way to save my money outside of putting the money in the bank because I'm a little nervous. Um, I'm nervous about things, and I don't want to have the money disappear because everything's freaking collapsing around us and not have anything. Um, so that's a nerve-wracking thing because there's, I guess, a record amount of people are late on car payments. And so that means that the banks are going to suffer again because of all the loans that are out there. And I'm not applying for any loans, that's for sure. I'm happy about that. Um, so I want to come up with some way to put something aside outside the bank so I can, have something. Um, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Um, it's important to think about. Kind of not sidetracked, but I was touching on this, and I was going to talk about it, and my brain is, yeah, money. Um, I'm happy that I finally got my ducks. Now I'm back to being set. I got converted. That's a big thing. I got converted. Yeah. So I'm a career guy now. I'm not just a part time. I'm full time now. So that's good. Um, yeah, pretty quick. Yeah. So yeah, coming back home feels good, and the weather is finally good. This winter was freaking cold, man. Just it was one of the colder winters I've experienced here. So yeah, it's good to have some warmth out there. The place I'm living at, the Holyoke Gas and Electric, is reasonable. Uh, Berkshire Gas is not reasonable. Well, I guess it mattered was the apartment. I spoke to one guy that was on the route, and he builds a bunch of homes that they use as Airbnbs because they, I guess, got out of the rental because of COVID. Um, and now they just do Airbnbs. And I made a mention about being in North Adams and how expensive Berkshire Gas was, but he said that his apartment is really insulated really well, that his bill is great. And then I'm thinking about the 2 bedroom that I was in wasn't well insulated, and bigger. So I probably did lose a lot of money because of that. Um, it wasn't the best insulated apartment. It was a good apartment, but yeah, the insulation just wasn't good. So I guess maybe, but at least there's no delivery fee here. And that's huge. Eversource, there's a $65 delivery fee. So even if you don't use any electric, you're going to pay $65. That's insane. Um, I'm a I'm a freaking capitalist idea, but still, I mean, you need some regulation. Geez, just um, the cost. That's the Yeah, that's the thing. Trump. I didn't vote. Sorry, I didn't like either candidate, and so I didn't vote. But uh, getting elected and just firing a bunch of people. Um, just think about how crazy it is to be working a job. Your boss isn't firing you, but then the president comes in and you lose your job like that. You know what I mean? That's insane. That's crazy. Um, how that's going to make America great again by costing people their jobs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, his original TV show, You're Fired. So, what do you expect? I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand how you're going to improve the economy. They're trying to say, oh, they want people working in the private sector. But with the stock market crashing and everything, and to tariffs. I mean, I'm not an economist, but the cost is going to be passed down to the customer, right? So the tariffs are only going to make the products more expensive because, or then the businesses go out of business. They have to make a profit. So if they have a tariff, obviously they're going to put that tariff into the price of the product. So how is that going to boost the economy? I mean, I don't know. That's just crazy. Um, and the Social Security thing, um, regardless of how long you've worked, every paycheck that you've gotten, unless you're working at the school or something, um, you pay into the Social Security. So if they're able to eliminate it and they don't pay you, that's a pretty good amount of robbery from everybody. Um, when they talk about the transfer of wealth coming from all the groups onto the rich, and then they don't have to, pay what you've paid in. That's a pretty good thievery from the lower class, that's for sure. So, I mean, um, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So, crazy world. I mean, I understand we shouldn't always be spending, but at the same time, you can't, cost people work. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's pretty scary thing to think about, all this crap. And perhaps AI with the social media has maybe, I think maybe the defund the police movement might have pushed a lot of people to vote for Trump that might not have voted for Trump. I mean, look at me personally. When that guy hit my car with his scooter, they didn't charge the guy. I didn't get any money to fix the car. They didn't really care, you know? And now you had all these, and that was before. I think people didn't want to have to think about, perhaps, I don't know. I think maybe the defund the police idea, and that could have gotten a lot of people to switch over, going from one extreme to the other. I didn't watch the full video, but Jon Stewart was like, don't, well, about blaming Joe Rogan. Well, I've listened to quite a few Joe Rogan episodes. I have. And he's not like saying pro Trump, but he definitely did bash Biden and Harris a lot. And his stance, obviously, almost every episode about his anti trans thing, obviously, you can't say you can't really say he's a liberal, really, to be honest with you, listening to his podcasts and his ideas. He tries to come off as if he is, though, but I don't think so. I don't really think so. It definitely highlights the issue of, like, well, saying, yeah, pretty much toxic things and saying it's comedy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, did he influence the election? I think maybe a lot of people might have been more open to Trump listening to his podcast. I think maybe I'll it just, it comes across that way. He spent a lot of, I don't know. I mean, definitely freedom of speech is important. And I agree with some of the things he says, but, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. But there's a lot of things that, yeah, it's entertainment value. But a lot of people tune in to his podcast for education. I agree with and maybe people then are kind of maybe misinformed, perhaps too. I don't know. It's go from one extreme to the other. It's maybe the reason why being in the middle is a better way to be. Then you're not going to sway to the other side. I mean, yeah, I've heard Rogan talk about that. Yeah, go from one side to the other. That's because of experience, the extreme from one side. Then, they swing the opposite direction. Maybe if it was a little bit more towards the center, then they wouldn't have swung. And maybe then, yeah, that wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, I'm not happy to see a bunch of people lose their jobs. Kind of tricky. And the talk of like getting rid of the entitlement. Yeah, bringing up Musk. How he said he's not into politics. And yeah, he's mentioned on the Rogan podcast about universal income and then swings around to the opposite. He's just kind of, I don't know. I'm not saying he's stupid, but maybe he's the boss. But influence, kind of, yeah. I don't know. But I hope that everybody here will have a good evening. I had today off. Happy it's spring. And yeah, I'm going to be working tomorrow. It's going to be, let's see what the weather's going to be. I think it's going to rain tomorrow. Jeez, got indigestion. Yeah, it's going to be 59. Yep. And then it's going to go down to 43, but then up to 54, and then snow on Sunday. But it's going to be 39 degrees. Then it's going to go up to 41. It's not going to stick. We need to get rid of the stupid snow. But it is what it is. So, all right. Well, I will see you guys later. Thank you.